All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is the D&G Reality Check with your host, Felix Gallegos. Today, we're going to be talking about the raids that ICE is conducting on illegal aliens, mostly in cities across the United States. I know for a fact, Chicago and Portland. Oh, drop my speaker. Hold on a second. Mostly in Chicago, Portland. That's the only two places I know for a fact. All right. What's my opinion on it? Should ICE be conducting immigration raids? Yes, I don't see a problem with it. I don't think there's a problem with it. Could there be a problem with it based on the probability that people who are not subject to deportation could be rounded up in this dragnet? Yes. So there is a problem with that. So I have a two-part. I agree that the raids against illegals in general are okay. Illegal aliens should be deported, period. If you haven't came in the country legally, bye. Come back and start over again. Start over with the proper paperwork. I've been, as a well-traveled person, I've been to like 9 or 10 countries, possibly 11. No country here, none of these countries allow, immigration or people to come in illegally and just live off of the dole of the people. They the immigrants come here, and a lot of Democrats or liberals, I don't know whose view it is, but I'm going to assume it's Democrats, are of the view that illegals should just be able to come in and out as they please, and when they get here, they should get free stuff. I know for a fact that they are getting $5,000 at the border before. They're getting preloaded cards with benefits on them, for food, whatever. In the history of immigration, no, the United States has never, even from the time of Ellis Island, if you came into the country and they deemed you to be a public uh, public burden, on the funds of the people, they denied you at the border. Period. So coming into America with no money or no means was always a reason for deportation or denied entry. All of a sudden, we have mostly Democrats of the view that anybody comes here, they should be able to just come here freely. Yeah, the border used to be Mexico's all the way up to, Washington State, on the top of the United States. That was back in the day. Mexico lost Mexico lost the land, period. They were conquered, they were killed, they were tricked. This same as the Native Americans. They were killed, they were tricked, they were, subjugated. I don't think that. I mean, I'm not saying that's all fine and dandy, but in the spirit of war or the spirit of conquest, hell, they lost. They lost the land. Period. I mean, I don't know what else to say. If they couldn't hold the land, they lost it. Period. Now, I'm not saying that it's all 100% correct, but the conqueror has won. The other side of the coin, what I was talking about. If people around, if ICE goes out in mass and conducts raids and they swoop up, some brown person that's an American citizen or a brown person that's has a legal status, and they violate their rights via arrest or via accosting them, detaining them. I don't even think detaining them for a short period of time is a violation of rights unless they can just prove that they're allowed in the country. Period. But let's just say that they arrest them or detain them or hurt them or spray them with pepper spray, kick their door in. Is that a violation of their rights? Yes. People who are illegal or not, into America, the moment they cross the border into America, the Constitution binds to them. They are protected. They have constitutional protected rights as soon as they hit our lands. Does that mean that they entered legally and they should stay? No. But anyways, I'm off topic. My point is, people who are here legally or Americans by birth that are rounded up need to take action in the courts to rectify what the government has done, or ICE agents have done to them, the same way you would when the police arrest you. Most people just have a tendency to cry, complain, get on Facebook, and never do anything about it. The pen is mightier than the sword, period. Taking to Facebook and, crying about it, all it does is it just goes into the wasted air, just wasted space. We need to start, as a people, we need to start working the pen. We need to start educating ourselves on the law. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse, and all are equal under the law, period. All right, this is from the whitehouse.gov. Ending taxpayer subsidization of open borders. This is a presidential action. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1, Purpose. The plain text of federal law, including the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996, or PRORA, generally prohibits illegal aliens from obtaining most taxpayer-funded benefits. Title 4 of the PRORA states that it is national policy that aliens within the nation's borders not depend on public resources to meet their needs, and that it is a compelling government interest to remove the incentive for illegal immigration provided by the availability of public benefits. But in the decades since the passage of the PRORA, numerous administrations have acted to undermine the principles and limitations directed by the Congress through that law. Over the last 4 years in particular, the prior administration repeatedly undercut the goals of that law, resulting in the improper expenditure of significant taxpayer resources. So my administration will uphold the rule of law, defend against the waste of hard-earned taxpayer resources, and protect benefits for American citizens in need, including individuals with disabilities and veterans. Section 2, Preserving federal public benefits. A, to prevent taxpayer resources from acting as a magnet and fueling illegal immigration to the United States, and to ensure, to the maximum extent permitted by law, that no taxpayer-funded benefits go to unqualified aliens. The head of each executive department or agency shall, 1. Identify all federally funded programs administered by the agency that currently permit illegal aliens to obtain any cash or non-cash public benefit, and, consistent with applicable law, take all appropriate actions to align such programs with the purposes of this order and the requirements of applicable federal law, including the PRORA. 2. Ensure, consistent with applicable law, that federal payments to states and localities do not, by design or effect, facilitate the subsidization or promotion of illegal immigration, or abet so-called sanctuary policies that seek to shield illegal aliens from deportation. And 3, enhance eligibility verification systems to the maximum extent possible to ensure that taxpayer-funded benefits exclude any ineligible alien who entered the United States illegally or is otherwise unlawfully present in the United States. Then it goes on to tell what the directors and agency heads are supposed to do to enforce these laws. So this is the order by Trump, to prevent illegal aliens from becoming a public burden, which is what the whole country has been on since Ellis Island, from what I can prove. All right, this is from White House or Justice.gov. So this is the Department of Justice publishes list of sanctuary jurisdictions. So the reason I'm showing this is to show what states and places are abetting in the sanctuaries or violation of federal law, and that's probably why Trump is sending the troops to those places. Not troops, ICE agents. All right, so Washington. Today, the Justice Department published a list of states, cities, and counties identified as having policies, laws, or regulations that impede enforcement of federal immigration laws. Sanctuary policies impede law enforcement and put American citizens at risk by design, said Attorney General Pam Bondi. The Department of Justice will continue bringing litigation against sanctuary jurisdictions and work closely with the Department of Homeland Security to eradicate these harmful policies around the country. So there's states. Here's a list of them. States: California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, District of Columbia. Not a state, by the way. Illinois, Minnesota, Nevada, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington. Cities: Albuquerque, Berkeley, Boston, Chicago, Denver, East Lansing, Hoboken, New Jersey, Los Angeles, New Orleans, New York City, Newark, Patterson, Philadelphia, Portland, Rochester, Seattle, and San Francisco. It's no wonder why ICE is sent to these places, sanctuary cities. It's a nest of illegal immigration. I mean, why wouldn't you send ICE to those places to round up illegals? All right. So, these sanctuary cities and towns and states have a problem with, they're blocking federal agents from, apprehending illegal immigrants and so forth. Now, in general, the states have they are sovereign. They don't have to listen to the federal government, but the majority of the states, actually all the states, have accepted federal benefits. So they receive some sort of funding from the Fed in general. Therefore, they are beholden to listen to the federal government. But regardless of that, the Constitution of the United States, we require the federal government to prevent invasion on our borders. Now, Amendment 10 says the power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So in general, they could if they wanted to allow, prevent the federal government from entering into their states. Although there is a nexus there that when you accept federal benefits, you cannot decline. That's kind of like the hook, it kind of gets you. You take this, but you got to listen to them. Anyways, I'm off topic a bit. So the things I read was, about the public becoming a public burden. So we got a couple of spots here. I'll share the screen in a second. But let's see, New York. This is kind of migrants in New York. Let me share the screen first. All right, this is from apnews.com. This is AP Fact Check. Migrants in New York City will receive prepaid debit cards, not credit cards, for designated goods. So somebody must have said they were going to receive credit cards, but they're not. So they're going to receive prepaid debit cards. Claim New York City is giving credit cards to migrants living in the U.S. illegally. Missing AP's assessment, missing context. The city is launching a pilot program that will provide migrants with prepaid debit cards to buy only food and baby supplies, according to the spokesperson for the mayor. Participants will be allowed to shop with the cards at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores. The goal is to cut costs, officials said. Facts. Amid a massive influx of migrants to New York City, social media users are misrepresenting the new program with false claims about the type of aid participants will receive. So this is the fact check, but so the aid is wrong. They mischaracterized it. But the real thing is they are receiving aid, just not the way they said it. So migrants, illegals or migrants, I'm not sure which one they are going to receive $12.52 per person per day for 28 days. So SNAP and WIC, federally funded health and nutrition programs, already use prepaid cards. So the point is, migrants or illegals are receiving funds. Again, they are burdening the system with the use of these dollars, period, which is not allowed, should not be allowed according to what the old school and all the new current system says. So, now one more. Let me share one more. I'll read this one. I'll go to my history. I'll go to this one. Okay. Epoch Times. Arizona sheriff, illegal immigrants being handed $5,000 Visa gift cards. Immigrants who illegally cross the border into Arizona are being handed $5,000 in good as cash gift cards, along with cell phones and costly plane tickets, all of which are being paid for by the American taxpayer, according to Arizona Sheriff Mark Lamb. Now, I know this to be true because they did it during the time of Obama, and at the border, Department of Homeland Security was issuing tickets for planes, buses, and trains for anywhere inside the country. So it's not very uncommon. But again, this should not happen. Period. All right, my final thoughts on this. So I've already stated what I feel about it. That illegal immigrants should not be here anyway. In general, period. They should be removed from the country, and they should use the proper channels to come in. I don't know why Democrats in general feel that you know there's an entitlement for people to whoever crosses the border receives free everything, but the country has never been that way. Being the country is, no matter how racist this country is, or has how racist this country has a history of being, they have never accepted from the beginning of their immigration uh, people who were a public burden on the people. You know, they had to prove that you had funds. Actually, you still have to prove you have funds. You have to, if you want to immigrate to the United States, you got to prove that you have funds that you can make it. You cannot come here as a burden. Period. Uh, so, my final thought is, go get them, Trump. Get them, whoever wants to close the borders up. Period. They could do a good job. Obama did it. Trump's doing it. Um, I'm not really too fond on Republican and Democrat, but whoever's doing what they're supposed to be doing is what they're doing a good job. Period. Close the borders up, kick the illegals out, make them come in the proper way. So let's talk about it. Leave comments, like, subscribe. Come at me, agree with me, don't. But we need to talk about these things. People need to start, actually looking at what's actually going on, as opposed to just being very emotional about Trump or about Biden or about whoever, Kamala Harris. It's always about a name. They got us all the the government's got us all like focused on Trump bad man, Obama this and that, or Joe Biden this or that. It's a bunch of psyops. We need to focus on the facts, right? Or go somewhere else. If you don't like America, pack up and leave. I mean, I've been to a few countries, and I can honestly say that America is not the best country in the world. It's the best country in the world if you want to make money. I mean, it's good for Americans. It's good for a lot of things, but it's also bad for a lot of things. Anyways, this is Felix Gallegos, your host with the D&G Reality Check.